8 years ago, when I was 13 years old, I didn't think I would spend more than 6,000 hours playing just one game. Therefore, I didn't think I would scold myself for wasting so much time doing nonsense when I could dedicate it to learning new skills, spending time with my family, friends, advancing in my career or business. There were many things to explore, but I decided to sit at my desk and play the game. The game which doesn't really have the diversity and many things to do, which is monotonous and repetitive. This game is Counter-Strike. So today I'm going to share with you how I spend so much time and energy for nothing, and believe me, even if you don't have addiction to video games, you have certainly one for something. And maybe this video will be useful for you. I am a competitive kind of person. I love winning. In anything. Whether it's having the best grade after a test or being higher physically. To me it matters. Or at least mattered more in the past. I was playing many different sports. Chess, succeeding in classes, and when I came back home after school, I played shooters. I have never played for fun. It was a mission for me to be the best. The interesting part is that the more I wanted to be the best, the more I wanted to impress others, the worse I played. It was always the case. Even right now. When I think about what other people would think about my decision making, I do worse than I could. It's not only about games, but life in general. Anyway, I started playing Counter-Strike when I was 12. I don't remember the exact reason why, as with other games, probably because my friend at school told me to buy it so we could play together. At first, I was playing a lot. I played really well for someone who hadn't spent much time in the game before. In class, Counter-Strike now was associated with me. And one of my classmates who I really admired told the teacher that I would become the best player in the world. Something ticked inside me. Goosebumps all over my skin. Yes, I can do it. I can become the best at this game. That's what I thought. I took it more seriously. I warmed up before games, practiced a lot and played a lot. I started playing on Faceit, a matchmaking platform for really good players. I wanted to win so badly and I wanted to do it on my own. I wanted to prove to everyone and to myself that I can solo carry other 4 teammates and win games without breaking a sweat. I was fantasizing about winning big tournaments, having a lot of fans and just people loving me. Because that's cool when people like you, right? But I wasn't the best. To be honest, I was mediocre. And the game sucked. I didn't have any fun playing it. It made me miserable every time. But I was still playing it because I was inspired. Because that's my dream, right? You don't give up on your dreams, and I was convinced I was doing the right thing by keeping playing. What I didn't do was question where this dream came from. Why did I want to become the best in the game? Did I like the process? The game itself? What was the bigger picture? If I could have asked myself these simple questions, I would have probably stopped at 3,000, 4,000 hours. To be honest, I asked myself those questions, and I stopped playing for a few days. But then I would return and play again, and again, and again. I don't know why. I think that's because Counter-Strike was so embedded in me that I couldn't let it go. After so much time in the game, it became a part of me. That was my excuse to keep playing. Another thing which kept me playing is that sometimes I indeed dominated the server. I played really good from times to times, so each time I opened the game with the thought of destroying my enemy, because my brain remembers a few positive moments out of quadrillion negative moments, and it predicts that something positive will happen. That's like alcohol, which made you at the moment a little more confident and you approached a girl and got led. Does it mean each time you drink alcohol you will get led? No. Of course not, but your brain thinks that's a good idea because of a good experience you had. It doesn't matter that you got into an accident 2 nights earlier because you were drunk. It remembers only positive things. Here I'd like to pause for a second and say that there is no good or bad. There is a right or a wrong quantity. Everything might be good in moderation, whether it's alcohol or video games, but in my case there was no moderation. So how do you break out of this cycle? From my experience, there is only one way. If you have an addiction to something, only a substitution for that addiction may help. The moments I didn't play games at all were when I either physically couldn't play games, or I was absorbed by something else. I have already told you, I'm of a competitive nature, and challenges present themselves all the time. For example, with this YouTube channel. Right now this is a life or death game for me. I want to succeed. At this very same moment I don't care about Counter-Strike because I have something else on my mind. The same effect sports have. Recently I discovered climbing and now it is my lifetime purpose to get as good in it as possible. I want to get to V8 level till the end of the next month and you know what? I truly enjoy doing it. Another example is my trip to Southeast Asia. I spent there over 3 months and I physically couldn't play video games.
I traveled across the countries, talked to locals, and ate delicious food. When your addiction is not even an option, it's not on your mind. Now there is another point I want to make. The more you care, the less you get. Let me explain. I've already told you that thinking too much about other people's opinions is usually detrimental, because thus you don't listen to your gut. And not listening to your gut means you don't trust yourself. How can you succeed in anything if you don't trust yourself? I cared too much for the game, and I was afraid of doing mistakes. Because the reality of the game is, the more mistakes you do, less likely you are to win. Instead of accepting the fact that I will make mistakes and just let it go and follow my reflexes, I just cared too much. I had been thinking too much. When football players hit the ball, they don't think how to hit the ball. It just happens automatically. After years of practice, of course, but again it happens automatically. And hey, we're not talking about football, but about what you care too much about. But an interesting thing is that what happened, happened, and maybe that's for the better. Because the fact is, if I didn't care about becoming the best player in the world and I hadn't spent 6,000 hours playing the game, I wouldn't have come to this conclusion, and I wouldn't have shared it with you. So maybe after all, these 6,000 hours were not a complete waste of my time, and everything happened the way it should have happened in the first place.